Okay, so how many of you have someone in your life who does something so bizarre and so odd that you just have to ask, is this normal? Well, today you're going to meet people who are calling their loved ones on the carpet about their unusual behavior. Now, Linda says that her Jack Russell Terrier, Sasha, is not a dog at all. In fact, she says that it's actually human. She says it's perfectly normal to dress Sasha in pearls when company comes and to let her dog eat off of her fork. Now, Linda's future daughter-in-law says, Jill says that Linda's taken this dog thing just way too far, especially because she wants Sasha the dog to host her bridal shower. She's serious.
Sasha is a Jack Russell Terrier, and she's not a typical dog.
Can I rub your belly?
I see her as a little person in dog skin. She's more like a human.
Look how pretty you look.
This is her necklace. She likes to wear outfits once in a while, but most of the time she goes naked because she likes to be free and express herself.
This is her princess outfit. This is the one that we wore on Halloween.
I'll ask her how was her day, and she answers me. I know it sounds crazy.
Give mommy a kissy. Good girl.
Jill is my future daughter-in-law. Jill thinks I'm nuts.
I don't think Linda and Sasha's relationship is normal. It's bizarre to me. The thing that grosses me out the most is when Linda will share her food with Sasha.
Oh, it's a good girl.
I'm thinking, do you realize where Sasha's mouth has been?
This was what I thought Sasha could show up in Jill's wedding for.
Sasha won't be attending the wedding.
She has this little silk-lined cape that goes around with this little fur collar.
Oh, it's a good girl. Pretty?
I'm not sure why Linda bought her a dress to wear to the wedding.
I would love for Sasha to be a flower girl, just for her to be able to be there in her cute little dress.
Tell me you don't love it.
I'm hoping to have a bridal shower with my friends and family. If Sasha wants to be there, that's okay, but she's not going to be hosting my shower.
We'll see about that.
I would hope that DrPhil will tell Linda that her behavior is not normal.
Okay, so you say you're not leaving here till you convince me that your dog is a human.
That's correct.
That's not correct. You are leaving here before you convince me your dog is human. Your dog's a dog.
No, she's not really a dog. She really isn't. She has a personality of more like a child than a dog, definitely. She speaks to me and I totally understand her, really. She tells me things like, you know, when she's upset, like if people are treating her like a dog, she lets me know that she doesn't really appreciate being treated like a dog.
She interprets the barks. She'll say, she was saying, yeah, I'm mad, or hi, I love you.
But it's not always
Okay,
the bark.
well, Linda says that she can understand Sasha when she barks, so I've isolated a little bit of her barking so Linda can translate it for us. Okay, what's that mean?
Okay, she's really annoyed that the doorbell rings. She doesn't like that. That disturbs her. She prefers that people just knock quietly.
That's a dog barking at the door.
Thank you, thank you.
It's really not. It's really not. She's more like...
No, I mean, listen, I understand that this is a really special dog, and I probably should recuse myself because I truly believe I have the smartest dog in the history of the world. But she is, however, a dog. That's my dog. And I could tell you stories about Robin with this dog, but I won't. But
They're all true.
You love the dog.
I do love the dog, and I don't understand why Jay and Jordan won't call her their sister.
There you go. Okay, she knows it's a dog, okay? You feed this dog off your fork.
Yes, I do. Just like I would feed one of my children.
Your children don't lick their butt.
Does not lick her butt either. Look at that face.
Am I missing something here?
How can you not want to just hug and kiss that little face?
Oh, it's an cute dog, really. It's a very cute dog, but it does lick its butt.
Well,
and so I don't want it licking my fork.
I've never seen her licking her butt. She doesn't do stuff like that. She doesn't appreciate...
our other dog. She'll lick her butt, her ears, her teeth, everything. And then 10 minutes later, she's sharing a popsicle with her.
That's what dogs do. They take care of one another.
Okay, but you're not a dog. Here's the deal.
She's not a dog.
She's not a person, and you're not a dog. And so you want this dog to host her wedding shower.
Yes, and it would really be no problem and no skin off Jill's nose to let everyone come with the invitations from Sasha. I don't see what the big deal is. Sasha's a family member, and this is what she wants to do. This is how she can contribute.
Because they will get the invitation and go, oh, she's crazy.
No. Everyone that knows me knows I'm crazy about my dog, and this would be totally expected that I would help Sasha host it.
Okay, but here's the problem. It's not about you, it's about her.
Thank you.
It's her bridal shower. It's about her. She doesn't want her invitations to go out from a dog. What do we bring, milk bones? What do you...
She's not really a dog, so the party would have nothing to do with the dog other than
you.
Her being in a dog's skin.
It's not about you. If you want to believe the dog is a human being in dog's clothing, then that's okay, seriously, because it doesn't really hurt anybody, right?
My dog doesn't sit around licking her butt. She really doesn't act like a dog. She doesn't do dog stuff like that. She really doesn't. And
okay, but
when
do
she
you
goes
get
in
the
bathroom,
fact that this shower is about her, it's not about you?
I do get that.
And therefore you should subordinate your interest to hers?
Well, of course I'm going to give her whatever she wants. She wants the dog shower without the dog.
Oh, no, it's not a dog shower.
That was a slip of the tongue.
Boy, you can't take back stupid, can you? Of course, if she wants a dog shower. No, she just wants a shower, and she wants you to graciously host it and bring the dog and let it sit on the floor and not feed it the things that you normally feed it, which, by the way, is exceedingly bad for a dog.
Well, I try to feed it dog food, but it won't eat.
Yes, it will. When dogs,
it really won't.
Dogs will eat roadkill if it's hungry.
She's gonna be 9 this year, and she looks great.
Extremely overweight.
And the audience goes wild. Okay, so you won't host the dog doesn't need to send the invitation, right?
That's right. I mean, I love Jill, and I'll do whatever she wants. If she doesn't want the dog to be there, obviously.
Well, she doesn't. Yeah, right?
Right.
So problem solved, right?
Problem solved.
And then you can continue to enjoy your dog. It's a cute dog, really
Thank you
beautiful
very
dog.
much.
I mean, really, it's a cute dog. Dog. All right, coming up, a wife who considered divorce over her husband's 27-year hobby. Find out what he does is driving her insane when we come back. Today we're talking about what to do if your spouse is doing something you think is not normal. Now, Mary says it's time for her husband Eric to give up his dream of becoming a professional drummer and get a real job. Eric says that he's been hitting the cymbals since they got married 27 years ago. So why does his wife suddenly think it's so abnormal?
Eric and I have been married for 27 years. Eric has been a drummer as long as I've known him. It's his passion. Eric is in 4 bands right now.
I have played in at least 30 different bands.
My husband is 50 years old, and he does think he's still got a chance of being a rock star.
Mary has supported my dream for 27 years, and she wants me to put less emphasis on it and go work a good day job.
I'd like Eric to get a real job, something that would be paying every single week.
I consider playing the drums a real job.
I am tired of the financial responsibility being on me.
I think for me, it is normal to keep my dream of being a rock star.
In 42 years, I think that he really needs to come to grips with it. It's not going to happen.
I have been dangling this carrot of success in front of my wife for quite a while. I keep thinking it may get better right around the corner. I've been playing drums for so long, I don't feel necessarily qualified for a lot of professional jobs, but fortunately enough, I'm a pretty good house painter. If I was offered a gig or a job to paint a house, unfortunately for my wife's sake, I might go for the gig.
The drums come first. Eric needs to grow up. I need him around more. I need more of a solid commitment.
I think Mary may be upset at me because I don't give as much attention to her as my drumming. I understand that, but it's really hard for me to do something about it. As long as I'm physically able, I will continue to play drums.
Okay. Now, so you're here because you want me to straighten him out.
I would like some help with that, yes.
Okay, let me get that out of the way just quickly, and then I got a few questions for you. So, she wants me to straighten you out. Get a job, you're bleeding your wife dry. Okay? So, now, that's done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now the real question I've got about normal versus abnormal is, what the hell are you thinking? You've been for 27 years letting him tell you he's a drummer with no paycheck, and you've been paying all the bills and doing all the bills, and he works sort of, sometimes, kind of, maybe.
I know.
Unless he what's wrong with you?
Well, that's a good question, actually.
Thank you.
I kind of started coming to clues, right, 2 years ago, deciding,
really,
what
look,
is wrong with me?
People do what works, and we teach people how to treat us. This works for you, right? You're having a ball.
Yes.
You like drumming, don't you? Got your sticks with you. Yeah, I'm really impressed. Thank you. You really are good at what you do, no question about it. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay very well. You don't live in like LA or New York or Nashville or anywhere that lots of drummers go to get jobs and agents and all the things that make it a commercial enterprise, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so therefore, unless somebody's going to come into your garage and say, I stopped to use your phone, but as I'm here, I really need a good drummer.
Unfortunately, that hasn't happened too often.
That hasn't happened. If you really were serious about this, you would position yourself where drummers are auditioned and hired, and you would get an agent and a lawyer and all the things that you need to do to get in a paying gig. You would get in a musicians union. You would do all the things that professional musicians do. You wouldn't sit in the garage beating on your drums hoping somebody's going to stop by and discover you.
Well, I guess I love my wife so much, I want a little bit.
Then get a job, because she's about to kick you out. And see, isn't that true? I mean, aren't you seriously tired of this?
Yes, I am.
If there was a steady paycheck and like insurance benefits and all of that was contributing to the bottom line, that would take a lot of pressure off of you, wouldn't it?
It absolutely would take a lot of pressure.
Okay, here's the deal. It's not that you are pursuing your dream, it is how you are pursuing your dream. Lots of people, have you been to a restaurant since you were here?
Yes.
You were waited on by an actor.
I was wondering about that.
You were waited on by somebody that is looking for their break, but they don't have somebody to pay their bills for 27 years, so they have a job, a J-O-B job.
Well, some of it's my own personality because I'm the oldest of 7 kids. I'm the big sister, and even though he's my husband, I've been able to take that role of just being, providing, being the one, and so I just kind of, it's flowed into our marriage. And now at this point, though, I've just pretty much, I'm really tired. I'm finding as getting older, I'm just getting more, so I'm going like, hey, what can you come up with?
Yeah. So what if she decided that she's just gonna do pottery for the next 27 years and sell it occasionally down at the flea market or something and let you work for 27 years? We just flip-flop this. How's that?
Well, I've actually told her about if you do something, it may change the dynamics. I've never told her that she can't pursue something. In fact, I've been very supportive of her lampshade career.
She gets hungry.
Well, you know what? I do have an artist thing.
I know you do. What's the name of your website, by the way?
VictorianLampShadeSupply.com.
Yeah, VictorianLampShadeSupply.com. I'm doing you a plug right now because I actually went there, clicked on it. Very creative, actually. You're very talented.
Thank you. And people do pay me for that.
Yes, they do. I would guess they would. They're all unique, and she's really good at it. So
he supports me 100% in that.
Emotionally.
Emotionally. Yes, emotionally. And, he'll take
Because when you bring out a new lampshade, he'll give you a drum roll.
I
people go, nice, nice.
But you truly need to make a steady contribution to this because she's getting tired. You need to get a job, right?
Right.
And then get a job, and so you have the pride of knowing that you're taking some pressure off of her,
Yes.
and you continue to pursue your dream. Will you do that?
Yes.
I mean, come on, it's time.
Dear Dr. Phil, I've been with my boyfriend Stuart for 2 years, and we never fight. I mean, never. We're that couple that everyone hates because we're so lovey-dovey in public. In the 2 years we've been together, we've only had one disagreement. Now I'm beginning to get worried because you always say it's healthy for couples to fight.
Disagreements are normal, and you're not always right, and you're not always wrong.
So I need to know, Dr. Phil, is it normal not to fight? Sincerely, Tara.
Well, if you've been wondering if your loved one is abnormal, you came to the right place today. Now, Tara's question is it normal not to fight with my husband? And because you've heard me say that fighting is okay. And we really don't fight, but we are very expressive. She certainly is. But no, we really deal with things as they come up. It's very normal to have disagreements, and you problem solve those things, and then you move on. But if you and your partner don't fight, that's not a bad sign, as long as you're not just storing all of this up. Maybe you guys are just problem solvers, so don't worry about it. All right, now next, Amber says that her fiancé Colin has a personality that confuses and concerns her. 1 minute, he's the nicest guy in the world, and the next, well, you just don't want to be near him, according to her. Now, Colin says Amber's just being sensitive because he's always been a little rough around the edges.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
You gotta say something to get your point across.
It's not normal that my fiance Colin flies off the handle 1 minute and is okay the next.
This is normal. Sometimes you do need to be rude.
I have 3 children from a previous marriage, and Colin and I have our 11-month-old Elizabeth. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's ugly. Colin blows up about little things, picking up their book bags, taking off their shoes.
I've tried the Mr. Nice Guy approach. It just doesn't work. I want them to listen to what they're told. I want them to do what they're told.
Colin yells at the children. He uses phrases like, why do I have to tell you 100 times? Jesus, do it right the first time and I won't be so pissed off.
I say, what the are you doing? This needs to get done now.
He throws a lot of bombs.
Hey.
Colin can be great with the kids. He goes to baseball practices. He has had a tea party with my daughter.
So is it tea time?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Colin is very sweet to me. He still opens doors for me.
I just want you to take care of it.
I have seen him be very rude to waitresses.
I just want my food the way I want it.
Customer service representatives.
I end up being rude and crude, and I tell them I need to speak to an American, or I'm gonna hang up the phone.
I'm looking for Dr. Phil to reach out to Colin and convince him that his behavior does need to change.
Normally I am a happy-go-lucky guy. Most of the time, I'm me. This is the person that she fell in love with.
Okay. You guys are engaged?
Yes.
You're concerned that you may be buying into a problem.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware she's concerned?
Yeah, I'm aware that she's concerned.
Yeah. Now, you said in there, look, I'm just expressing myself. I just do this when it is, quote, called for.
Correct.
I have 2 questions about that. Do you really believe that? And number 2, do you really expect me to believe that? I mean, do you really believe that's called for, demeaning someone and calling them names?
I don't think that it's right. I don't know any other way to do it right now because, like I said, I have, tried the nice guy approach, and, it's just having to repeat myself over and over again and not getting the help with the discipline. Every day I got to tell them, take your shoes off at the door,
So you have to repeatedly tell kids things.
Right.
I mean, you were a kid.
I did what I was told.
My parents had to tell me stuff.
I did what I was told.
Well, bully for you, but I didn't. I mean, really, we've raised 2 boys, and I actually considered at one point that they didn't get a memory chip when they were when they were born, because you'd have to tell them every day, you know, and eventually it would get through and they would learn. But here's the thing. This is a very serious question. Do you have an expectation that when you call somewhere for service, or when you tell kids something, or when you get in your car or whatever, that things are supposed to kind of mesh and fall into place?
No, I mean, I know everything doesn't go right every day and life isn't always hunky-dory, but I mean, there's certain things or whatever that, you know, in the household that you try and, you know, keep in order, to keep order in the house, because if not, the kids are running, you know, crazy.
Because these are things that you've said you say. What the is the matter with you? Damn it, I told you 1,000,000 times. What the are you doing? Don't you listen?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I just don't know what else to do anymore. I mean, I've always told them, you know, can you please pick this up? You know, can you please, you know, do this for me? Can you please do that? And it's just like, I mean.
Because you've said that he yells at wait staff and stuff like that if service isn't good.
He doesn't yell at them. He gets very impatient and has a condescending tone that if I was a waitress, I wouldn't want to hear it.
Boy, I bet you eat a lot of spit.
It's not like that or whatever. It's just, I mean, like somebody will bring your salad out and then 2 minutes later your entree arrives. I mean, how are you supposed to enjoy your meal when it's like my food's going to be cold by the time I get to it when I eat my salad?
Okay, well here's the thing. Just think about this and we're going to take a break. People that are this way, and we all get that way some, is they have an expectation that things are supposed to be a certain way, and then when that's violated, it's not that the gravity of what happened, it's just if their expectations were violated, then they get frustrated, and then they have a frustration response. And so sometimes if you adjust the expectations, then maybe you don't become so frustrated. We come back, we're going to find out what happened backstage that had Colin just threatening to leave the show not 15 minutes ago.
No, it isn't your job to defend her.
It's my job to defend all of them. Colin questions my parenting and says that if I would discipline more, that he would not have to pick up my slack.
And when you do discipline them,
I feel like Dad don't do it the way you want it done.
because they're grounded for a reason. They got punished for a reason.
Well, if your loved one has an extreme behavior, does that mean that they're not normal? That's what we're talking about today. Amber says she's concerned about marrying her fiance because he flies off the handle at the drop of a hat. Now, are you concerned about this? Because you're kind of saying, well, it's not really that bad.
No, I'm concerned.
Does it worry you? Because you said you're thinking about calling off the wedding. You say he gets in your face, screams, yells, and calls you a bitch. Is that what you told us?
Yes.
And so you're saying, do I want to sign up for
She's
this?
called me? No, I'm just kidding.
You were upset backstage. Are we incompetent as well?
No, it's just, I mean, it was just something that we were going through.
Yeah, because backstage, you see the little producer stand over there. It's by that little fence, and the young lady standing right there. You see on stage, Anat. How you doing? She's back there in the green room with you, and you're screaming, "This is ridiculous! I want out of here! I want to go home."
That's right.
In front of my staff member over there. What?
Because at the time I wanted to go home because I felt like, you know, she wasn't listening to anything that I was saying, and it's either her way or no way.
Well, it's apparently your way or no way. But I mean, but why?
I'm here, aren't I?
I mean, isn't this a nice young lady over here? I mean,
I didn't mean to offend you. I'm sorry if I offended you. I apologize. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, and you weren't yelling at her, but you were yelling in her presence, and you were yelling at anybody around. I mean, I could hear you backstage. I said, what's going on here? And that's what you deal with, right? That's not normal.
I know that I have a problem that, you know, I get angry a lot because the things, you know, aren't going well.
Are you getting angry now that I'm questioning you about this?
Of course.
What do you expect me to do? Do you expect me to say it's okay to cuss and yell in front of my staff? It's okay to get in your wife's face and call her a bitch?
That's why I came here, to find a solution to the problem.
Yeah.
And see if there's anything that I can do to, you know, not be so angry all the time.
Because here's the problem. It really doesn't work for you. It doesn't get you what you want. If it worked for you, you wouldn't have to repeatedly do it. You say these kids, they just won't learn. Well, maybe it's because you just won't teach. And if you marry him before this is resolved, that will be a foolish decision. You should not do that. You absolutely should not do that. The truth is that this is not a difficult problem to solve, frankly, for a number of reasons. One, you are a very intelligent guy. And number two, despite all of your crying about it and complaining about it, you are here and you didn't have to be here. So you apparently are sincere in wanting to try to fix this situation. So I assume what you're saying is that if we'll give you another strategy, another way that would show results, you would embrace that and do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, but recognize this. You have this problem with her, correct?
Right.
You have this problem with the children, correct?
Right.
You have this problem with people on the phone sometimes, correct?
Yeah.
You have this problem with wait staff and service staff, correct?
Right.
The common denominator to all of those situations
is me.
Is you.
Right.
So it may be that you are engaging people in a way that they actually do become passive aggressive. So if you are willing, I'm going to arrange some things for you that will help you deal with this and get past it so you guys can be peaceful. And I predict you will come back here and say, that was much easier to resolve than I thought it was, and we are much more peaceful than I thought we could be. If I arrange some resources for you, will you do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and you'll participate, right? Because you got to stand up for yourself.
Yes,
and I know you.
I stand up for myself.
I know, I get that, but we're going to start here and see if it de-escalates the whole thing. All right, coming up, she's tired of being called a food weirdo. We're going to meet a self-proclaimed picky eater, and that's kind of not a big enough word for what she calls picky eating, who says she wants to know if she's normal. Okay, today people are asking if their behavior is normal. Now, Christine says she's constantly made fun of by her friends because they think she is a, quote, food weirdo. She admits that she investigates, dissects, and analyzes everything before she even thinks about putting it in her mouth. Now, her best friend Mark says that her eating habits are bizarre and frustrating, and going out to eat with her is like having a meal with a 4-year-old. Take a look.
My friends think I'm a food weirdo. They always have something to say whenever we go out to dinner.
What did you want soup or salad? We have chicken noodle and every bean.
I'll take maybe bean. I don't know what kind of beans they are, but they just look weird. My best friend Mark teases me about the way that I eat.
I would call Christine's eating behavior bizarre.
I pretty much have to dissect, inspect, and investigate my food. If I order vegetable soup, it takes about an hour for me to pick the vegetables out that I like to eat. That's gross.
Out of that whole bowl of soup, she had 1, maybe 2 beans.
What I find gross is any kind of seafood.
I could never order fish with Christine. She would be gagging at the table.
Onions, tomatoes, mushrooms.
Picky is an understatement.
Any little spice that just doesn't look right. I'm just picking off pieces of the skin, because that's the good part.
She just picks and complains.
People have called me chicken skin because I only eat the skin of my chicken wings.
It's frustrating eating with Christine because it's like eating with a child. It takes her an hour and a half to eat 3 pieces of lettuce and 5 beans.
It's been bad enough where guys won't even go out to dinner with me anymore.
Can you imagine your date sitting across from you eating chicken skin?
It has chunks of stuff in it. I don't want to be a food weirdo. I want DrPhil to help me eat like a normal person.
So why don't you? What do you say to yourself about your food? Obviously, you see it as a threat in some way because you're picking through it.
Yes. I mean, I don't know what it comes down to. I pretty much just mutilate my food and it sits on the plate just in little pieces.
What are you looking for?
Anything that doesn't look right. Pretty much, I don't like skin on tomatoes or eggplants or anything.
That's all
like
you
that.
eat is chicken skin.
Well, chicken skin is another story, but like in vegetable soup.
You ever seen chicken skin?
Yes, I eat it all the time.
What do you make of that?
You have the same face I have. Yeah. Yeah, she picks her food, and finally the things she chooses are just so unbelievably unhealthy. It's
but
bizarre.
You're not like a skeleton, so I mean you're normal weight, so you must eventually get food down.
I don't. Yeah. Well, it takes me like an hour or an hour and a half to eat something that's like remotely any substance at all.
I think the few foods she does eat are so fatty, that's what keeps her going. I mean, they're so disgusting.
So the things that you will eat are French fries, potato chips, and ranch dressing.
Yes. And mayonnaise.
And mayonnaise.
The mayonnaise is, that was her lunch backstage, 2 packets of mayonnaise. I promise you, if we searched her purse right now, there would be packets of mayonnaise. That's the snack throughout the day.
You eat mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Do you have any other habits that you think interfere with the flow of your life?
Just my food.
That's it?
Yeah.
You don't count the blades of grass in your lawn
No.
or anything? No, seriously,
Yeah,
you don't
no.
have any of the
Other-
ritualistic behavior in any other way. This is just your food.
Just my food.
Okay, and if you're caused to eat food that you haven't been able to inspect, or you get something in your mouth that is different than you expected, what's your reaction?
I don't think that's ever happened. I pretty much will not eat anything that I cannot investigate.
Okay. Do you get anxious until you do?
I'm not really anxious, but I mean, it definitely, like, I could never just pick up a fork full of food and put it in my mouth. I could never do that. I have to look at it thoroughly before I do.
If he like sat down and ordered like a trout with the head still on it,
Yeah, no.
and just started woofing it down, you'd have a problem with that.
And that's where the problem comes in. I'm the weird one because I ordered fish and she can't stand fish. But I mean, you look at her, she's eating ranch dressing by the spoonful. So she's gagging at my fish, I'm gagging at her ranch dressing. It's a scene. I mean, it's bizarre.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what's happened here. What's gone on is somehow, somewhere along the way, you have paired a huge negative with food. There's danger in that food, and you are hyper vigilant about that. And there are fears, and then there are rational fears, and there are irrational fears. If I threw a snake out here, it was a rattlesnake, you'd be afraid, rational fear. But if I throw a piece of paper on the ground and you're afraid, or I put a piece of chicken on your plate, or a piece of fish on your plate, and you become hyper vigilant, then that's irrational. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. There's a neurological link that's been formed, and we have to undo that link. And what we have to put you through is called some systematic desensitization to reprogram that so you can be in the presence of food without going into a hypervigilant state. This will take a couple of weeks to do.
Great.
Will you do it?
Yes, absolutely.
Will you report back and tell us that you're pigging out on... Next time I talk to you, I want to see chili dog all over your face. All right, coming up. She had a terrible skydiving accident that left her in the hospital for 3 days with a fractured back. But she says she's ready to jump from a plane again. The only problem is that her husband's just saying, yeah, I'm not okay with this. You broke your back once, you're not going up again. We'll be right back.
Dear Dr. Phil, I love to skydive. I started jumping a year ago, and I already have 10 jumps under my belt. Unfortunately, on my last jump, I hit the ground too hard and ended up in the hospital for 3 days with a lower back fracture. My husband has never liked the idea of me skydiving, and now he is refusing to let me return to the sport. If it were up to me, I'd literally take the plunge again. Dr. Phil, is it normal for me to go against my husband's wishes and skydive again, or should I get out while I'm still alive? Thank you, Melissa.
Well, today we're talking about what's normal. So Melissa wants to know if it's abnormal, A, to go do something that injured her to begin with, and B, to go against her husband's wishes. Now, you're joining us by webcam. Can you see me all right?
I can, Dr. Phil.
All right, good. She is on drphil.com right now. So what happened? Did your chute not open?
No, the equipment worked fine. It was operator error.
So you actually threw the brakes on at like 20 feet instead of 10, right?
That's right.
So you hit at a much faster pace than you ordinarily would?
Yes, and then I proceeded to land on my butt, which isn't really recommended.
Yeah. So you actually had a fracture, and your husband is saying, look, enough's enough. You had fun doing this, but you've hurt yourself and you don't want to go do it again. Are you afraid you would hurt yourself again?
Well, there's always that risk, but at the same time, I feel like I've learned some valuable lessons in a technical sense, and that I could carry that through and incorporate that into my skydiving, whereas my husband just He literally uses language that he's terrified, and that just makes me sad to think he's so scared.
Yeah, well, look, here's the deal. What you're talking about is a negotiation. In order to negotiate, you got to do two things. Number one, you've got to see things through his eyes. If you want to win this negotiation, you got to figure out what it is that's bothering him. And it doesn't sound to me like he's trying to hold you back or doesn't want you to have fun or anything of the sort. It probably is a genuine fear for your safety. So you've got to speak to the fear. You've got to convince him that you now have the competency to do this, that you're going to do tandem jumps or whatever the case is going to be. So he says, okay, this is a reasonable risk. I look at the risk-reward ratio. Her joy level is really high and the risk level is really low.
I thought, well, it's either I skydive or I don't, but I really understand your point of I have to help mitigate his fear, and that's really the problem that he has, truly, is the fear for my safety.
See things through his eyes. I'll bet you can talk him into it, but let me know if you do.
Okay. I certainly will.
All right. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.